Like your music, don't it?
Yeah, gotta get it out the mud, that's the only way to win. Who am I to point the finger like I never ever seen? Been through the ups and downs like the letter N. They don't let you through the door, better kick it again. Cause that's the only way to win. That's the only way to go. Gotta get it out the mud, gotta get it out the flow. Cause that's the only way to go, let's go.
Shooting lights out. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Shooting Lights Out with your boy, the Playmaker down in Silent City. You know how we do it here on Shooting Lights Out. I got some stuff to get into today. No heat chat today. I might do what I need to do with the break. I might call that a flagrant foul. I might not. Right now, it's not called a flagrant foul. I don't know yet. But we're going to get into what LeBron James, the Brooklyn Nets. We're going to relive some college stuff. Get ready for the week ahead, and we're going to call it a day. By the way, happy Valentine's Day to everybody out there, those of you who are in relationships, married, engaged, are dating seriously. Happy Valentine's Day to the couples out there. Single people, happy Valentine's Day to you. I already know I'm single myself, but that's neither here or there. So without further ado, you know how we roll. We're going to go around our hardware first and foremost. And to begin around the hardwood, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to start off with the college basketball rank. We're going to start with the men's side. As you can see, Butler upset a 13th-ranked Xavier this past week. 69-67, big win for the Butler Bulldogs. Bad loss for the Xavier Musketeers. From the Big East to the ACC, where we saw the Virginia Cavaliers survive the Duke Blue Devils 69-62 in overtime, outscoring the Blue Devils 11-4 in the overtime period. Back to the Big East, where Providence went on the road to St. John's, and they fell on the road. The Red Storm upset 20 Flyers 73-68. Two Big East road teams dropping. To the Pac-12, the UCLA Bruins, they walk into Eugene, Oregon, and they come out victorious 70-63. And back to the Big East, 21st ranked UConn, they fall on the road to 23rd ranked Creighton 56-53. That is 3 Big East ranked teams falling on the road in men's college basketball. Now, continuing on, we saw Rutgers take an L on the road to Illinois 69-60. That's another road-ranked team take a loss. This one coming from the Big Ten. A road team does get a victory. That is the third-ranked Alabama Crimson Tide taking down the Iron Bowl rival in Auburn 77-69. The Baylor Bears ranked 14th in the Big 12. They took down 17th-ranked TCU in Fort Worth, Texas 72-68 in the Battle for Texas. The Tennessee Volunteers were at home hosting honor-ranked Missouri, and Missouri at the buzzer shots the Volunteers in Knoxville 86-85. Tennessee is starting to lose a lot of unranked games, which is not good. And then we have another ranked team at home taking an L as Iowa State ranked 11. They fell to the Oklahoma State Cowboys 64-56 in Ames, Iowa. And as a result, as we continue on, almost jumped ahead there. Oh man, Michigan. Boy, Michigan, Juwan Howard, they almost got the win that they needed. They needed a big road win. They needed a big rank win. They almost got it in Indiana, but Indiana at the end, 62-61. Lockdown defense. They shut Michigan down for the last 5 minutes and some change. In the game, Michigan could not score. And back to the road teams getting beaten. We saw Texas Tech hosting 12th ranked Kansas State. The Red Raiders upset the Wildcats 71-63. And then we had a big one in the Pac-12 as 4th ranked Arizona Wildcats. They went to take on Stanford, and the Cardinals upset the Wildcats 88-79. out to the West Coast. We go stay out to the West Coast, but going to the West Coast Conference. The Gonzaga Bulldogs take down arch rival BYU 88-81. And then on this past Sunday, the long game for college basketball on Super Bowl Sunday, number one goes down on the road. Northwestern shots Purdue 64-58. What a win for them. I think Northwestern might have solidified their spot in the tournament. They took down number one. And as a result of all of these upsets that took place, Alabama is ranked number one in the country, followed by Houston, Purdue, UCLA, Kansas, Texas, Virginia, Arizona, Baylor, and Tennessee running out the top 10. As you see here, Arizona and Tennessee both dropped 4 spots. Continuing on for the rankings. Number 11, Marquette. 12 is Kansas State. 13, Gonzaga. 14, Indiana. 15, Miami. Xavier, 16. St. Mary's coming at 17. Creighton coming at 18. Iowa State dropping 8 spots all the way down to 19. UConn is up to 20. San Diego State, 21. TCU, 22. NC State, 23. Providence, 24. And Florida Atlantic at 25. 24-2 on the season. I'm going to have to look into what Florida Atlantic's been doing this season to have a record too like that. Good job to the Owls. So on the men's, let's go to the women's. And yet more ranked road teams getting upset because West Virginia hosted 21st ranked Iowa State and they took them down comfortably, 73-60. As we continue on, the NC State Lady Wolfpack, they fell short on the road to Virginia, 71-59. The game of the SEC. You saw number 1 South Carolina undefeated going against third-ranked LSU undefeated. Somebody's gonna take their first L of the game, and it was clear from the start of the game. It was gonna be LSU taking that first L because South Carolina was just all over them. Angel Reese could not get it going. She just could not get it going. Her streak of double-double games ended. And you knew it was going to end the way the South Carolina Gamecocks played. Shout out to Don Staley and the Gamecocks. But LSU ain't done. They'll bounce back. They will bounce back, but they had to learn the lesson. There's levels to greatness. There's levels to this. And South Carolina just on a different level. We had a top 20 matchup in Blacksburg, Virginia. As the Virginia Tech Hokies ranked 11 going against the Seminoles of Florida State with the Hokies taking it 84-70. Houston went on the road and upset 24th ranked the Lady Bulls of South Florida 71-69. And with those results, South Carolina remains number 1. Indiana jumps to number 2. Stanford at 3. Utah comes in at 4. LSU drops from 3 to 5. UConn is up at 6. Iowa 7, Maryland 8, Duke 9, Notre Dame 10, and rounding out the top 25, Virginia Tech 11, Michigan 12, Ohio State 13, Villanova 14, Oklahoma 15, UCLA 16, Texas 17, Arizona 18, North Carolina 19, Gonzaga 20, Colorado 21, Iowa State 22, UNLV 23, Florida State 24, and rounding out the top 25 is the Trojans of USC. Now we got college out of the way. Well, no, before we call, last night, ladies and gentlemen, we got to saw the ladies and the men both play. The ladies at the top of the screen, you saw it. Number 2, Indiana, just bulldoze their way in Columbus, Ohio, over 13 ranked Ohio State, 83-59, just bulldozing. Oh, the 17th-ranked Longhorns of Texas took an L, and Ames, Iowa took 22nd-ranked Iowa State. The Lady Longhorns took an L, a big one on that one. That was the ladies' games from yesterday. The men's game saw number 15 North Carolina going to Chapel Hill and take down UNC 80-72. Big win for Miami Hurricane. And then the Texas men's, they fell short on the road. They would have an in-state rivalry matchup with the Red Raiders of Texas Tech, and the Texas Tech Red Raiders took down the 6th-ranked Longhorns 74-67. Not a good day yesterday in the state of Texas, and especially Austin. Texas to be exact. From the college ranks to the professional ranks, as you can see here, these are the games that took place over the weekend and last night. Milwaukee walked into Crypto.com Arena to take on the LA Clippers. They took them down 119-106. The Brooklyn Nets, a couple of games since the trade, they fell short of the Philadelphia 76ers 101 to 98. The New York Knicks are playing better basketball as they took down the Utah Jazz in Madison Square Garden 126 to 120. Cleveland continued to play good ball with Donovan Mitchell and company 97 to 89 over the Bulls. The Los Angeles Lakers, your Saturday night primetime game. The Lakers without LeBron James walked in to the Bay Area at Chase Center, and took down the Golden State Warriors 109 to 103. And then last night we saw the Denver Nuggets led by Kel Jokic go into South Beach and take care of the Miami Heat 112 to 108. The New York Knicks ended a 9-game losing streak to their arch rivals, the Brooklyn Nets 124 to 106, with Jalen Brunson dropping 40 to do so. The New Orleans Pelicans, with the return of Brandon Ingram, drops 34 points in the game, and they get past Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and the Oklahoma City Thunder 103 to 100. The Minnesota Timberwolves took the trip to Dallas to face off against Kyrie Irving and Luka Doncic in the Dallas Mavericks. Kyrie Irving's first home game, his home debut with his new team, and the Minnesota Timberwolves win 124 to 121 because Kyrie nor Luka decided to shoot the ball at the last minute. They didn't know who wanted to shoot the ball, so the clock just ran out. And then the light cap was the Los Angeles Lakers. They were in Portland to take on the Portland Trail Blazers. And the Portland Trail Blazers hit 23 threes, and this one went 127 to 115 on the day. And speaking then, before we end off the round hardwood, Zion Williamson out beyond All-Star break after setback. Zion Williamson was illicitly injured just after New Year's of a hamstring. News came out yesterday or during the weekend that he had re-injured that hamstring again. So he's out for even more time than before. Question is it time for the Pelicans to cut their losses with Zion Williamson and move on? Because the best ability is availability, and Zion Williamson has not been available as much as he should be for the New Orleans Pelicans. That is a question for the Pelicans to answer and to really think about. Because with your star player not being available for most of the season, and he hasn't stepped foot in a postseason as of right now, that is hard to tell. Because when Zion was on the floor, the Pelicans were a top 2 seed in the West. Since he's been out, they are down to the 7th slot, with the Los Angeles Clippers right above them, who is known to be low management team. That will do it for Round the Hardwood. A break, and we're going to talk about the King. The Playmakers blog is proudly to announce that it is sponsored by Fanatics. Fanatics, where you can get all your official licensed sports gear, memorabilia, whether it's for the National Football League, the National Basketball Association, Major League Baseball, National Hockey League, or even International Soccer League, or even college sports. So rep your team, rep the hardware, get comfortable, because Fanatics is the way to go, where sports fans shop and official license everything. All right, welcome back to Shooting Lights Out, ladies and gentlemen. As you just saw the Fanatics commercial, shout out to the Kansas City Chiefs becoming Super Bowl champions. Go ahead, get your Kansas City Chiefs gear at Fanatics.com. They're all available. You can get free U.S. shipping on orders over $34. Let's use the promo code 34SHIP. That's 34 shipping for your promo code. Go ahead, get your gear. Chiefs Kingdom represent, celebrate. You earned it. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I talk about something that took place last week during Super Bowl week. That was not on the gridiron. That was on the hardwood. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. LeBron James. This picture, most of you know what this picture symbolizes. This is when he broke the record for the all-time scoring record, passing Kareem Abdul-Jabbar as the all-time leading scorer in the NBA. First and foremost, well-deserved, sir. It was a celebration. It was a sight to behold. I watched it live myself on last week. Literally 7 days from when it happened. It just happened last week, 7 days ago. Okay? I was there. I watched it. Kareem was there. Jay-Z was there. D-Wade was there. Magic was there. A lot of stars were in attendance of this game. And this was a game against the Oklahoma City Thunder, by the way. This one against Milwaukee or Golden State or Boston. This was the Oklahoma City Thunder, and everybody was there to watch this happen. LeBron breaks the record. He goes for 38. He needed 36 to break it. He got 38. It was a great moment. Kareem, the captain, symbolized passing the torch to him. As you see, the ball that came from Kareem, he gave to LeBron. It symbolizing passing of the torch because he has broken a record that stood for a very long time and nobody thought it would be broken. Nevertheless, this was the end result. The Oklahoma City Thunder beat the Los Angeles Lakers 133-130. By the way, this game was not as close as you might think it was, those of you who didn't watch it. The Thunder controlled this game for most of this game. Russell Westbrook came off the bench and gave them a spark and tried his darnest to bring the team back, but reports happened that things took place between him and Coach Darvin Ham, which ended up leading to Russell Westbrook getting traded and bringing in D'Angelo Russell, Malik Beasley, and Jared Vanderbilt. It's a good trade, by the way, and I hate it because I can't stand the Lakers, but it's a good trade. As you can see here, scoring king, now NBA all-time leading scorer is the one, the only, Mr. LeBron James. LeBron James, the greatest scorer of all time. Yeah. Yet the Lakers are still under 500. But nevertheless, the king has made a great accomplishment, sir. Congratulations to you for a sustained career that spans 20 years of playing ball. A career that has saw you grow within the game. At first, you wasn't able to shoot jump shots. Now you can shoot jump shots. At first, you was not a good three-point shooter. You become an okay three-point shooter. You wasn't a champion, but you learned how to be a champion down in South Beach. You learn what it takes to be a champion down when you spent your 4 years in South Beach. You brought that championship mentality back to you and make sure on your promise to Cleveland that you'll bring them a championship, which you did. When you say, Cleveland, this is for you. Coming back from a 3-1 deficit to the Golden State Warriors. So now you with the Lakers and you win a Boba championship because that scheduling was all crazy and whatnot, but you still won the championship with LA. Nevertheless, your career has spent a long way. You have been healthy for most of them. It's not until when you got to LA once you really started getting injured, like you is right now that you're out with a foot injury. But nevertheless, sir, you made it to the mountaintop. You reached the mountaintop of scoring. You are the only person in NBA history with the amount of points you have scored with, I believe, 10,000 rebounds, 5,000 assists. I think about 1,000 steals as well. Nevertheless, you have done things that nobody was able to do in the NBA. So, LeBron James, congratulations. You are the leading scorer of the NBA of all time. Congratulations.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of Into the Net FC.
Kylian Mbappe just all of a sudden finally understood his role, and I think he finally understood that everything Kylian Mbappe has accomplished already, there is still a hell of a lot waiting for him in the future. Kylian Mbappe is only 24 years old. He has accomplished so much, and you know what? Kylian Mbappe has not even reached his prime.
Finally seeing, the Marcus Rashford we have been hoping for such a long time,
But this game, after everything Manchester United has been doing lately, this was actually the ultimate test, to see if Manchester United, honestly was all of a sudden for real.
I explained this. The United States, maybe they have to suffer this loss as a lesson to learn to prepare for the future. Because 4 years from now, the World Cup is in not 1, not 2, but 3 countries. The United States of America, Canada, and Mexico. Into the Net FC is available on all streaming platforms, including Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, and YouTube.
As you can see, I'm doing the Flagrant Foul. And yes, I'm doing it on the goddamn Brooklyn Nets. By the way, welcome back to Shooting Lights Out. Those of you who love soccer, Into the Net FC is the podcast for you. Headed down by my man, the Bearman of Texas outside the South. He does a great job of covering soccer. All the soccer, that is. Now, the Brooklyn Nets. Yep, I decided during the break, I'm giving y'all the Flagrant Foul because damn it, y'all deserve it. You're getting the Flagrant Foul. And this Flagrant Foul, we're going to take a trip down memory lane from start to finish. Okay? Let's begin with the Flagrant Foul as we begin here. And we got to see Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving decide to bring their talents together to the Brooklyn area of the Nets. Not the Knicks, the Nets. Okay? Now, first year, both guys coming off injuries, so we didn't get to see much of them. But nevertheless, it's okay year. They made it happen. Kyrie plays 20 games. They get to the playoffs. But they get exit out. I'll get to the playoff statistics later. From there, we get here. James Harden is at it. LaMarcus Aldridge is at it. Blake Griffin is at it to Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. Nevertheless, Joe Harris is out with a season injury, if I remember correctly. It's a good lineup, great team. This team looks good. Nick Claxton's still on the team and whatnot. You still have to play. This team looks good. Bruce Brown was on the team here. This is a pretty decent team. You play your butts off. You get to the front. You play it. And the problem is, Kyrie goes down with an ankle injury. I want to say game 3 of this series with the Milwaukee Bucks. Nevertheless, this is game 7, and everybody knows. If Kevin Durant's shoe was just a half an inch shorter, this would be a 3 for the win instead of a 2 for the tie. With that being a 2 for the tie in game 7 of the Eastern Conference semifinals against the Milwaukee Bucks, the season ended like this. The Milwaukee Bucks are world champions, and Giannis Antetokounmpo is Finals MVP. In overtime, Chris Middleton does his thing against the Nets. Milwaukee takes out the Atlanta Hawks in the Eastern Conference Finals, and then Giannis smokes the Phoenix Suns, and more importantly, DeAndre Ayton to become this right here. This was 2 seasons ago. 2 seasons ago. Now we get to last season, ladies and gentlemen. Last season. There's a mandate in the state of New York, in the city of New York, saying that if you want to play in New York City, you must be vaccinated. And doing so, Kyrie, as you see this article by Nick Fidel back on September 26th of 2022, Brooklyn Nets, Kyrie Irving, gave up 4 years, $100 million plus extension to be unvaccinated. Now that's his right. That's everybody's right. Do you want to be injected with some type of vaccine of anything that you don't really know about because COVID has ran roughshod over the world and people want to take precautions to make sure nothing's happened? A lot of people die from COVID. A lot of sick people still getting COVID to this day. Shout out to my man Brian Snow. Hope you're recovering very well, sir. I hope to hear from you tomorrow on the show, Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson. Because if not, I have to do a processor confession. And I really don't want to do it. But nevertheless, I had to mention the hand. Kyrie made a choice That choice cost him a lot of games, cost him a lot of money. But this is what he says. It's about choosing what is best for you. You think I really want to lose money? Question mark. You think I really want to give up on my dream to go out the championship? Question mark. Yes, you did, and yes, you did. And I ain't about what you want, it's what you did. You gave up money and you gave up a championship. Because once the mandate was lifted, you finally got to play, 29 games? Brooklyn Nets become 7th seed. They get past the Cleveland Cavaliers in the first playing game. The Hawks get the 8th seed because they won both of their games. But you get the 7th seed and you get to play Boston. And playing, oh, by the way, before we get to Boston, James Harden won it out. James Harden said, trade me, please, because this is not going well. So you traded James Harden to Philly for Steph Curry and Ben Simmons. By the way, Ben Simmons did not play no type of basketball that season of last year. He didn't step on the court not one time last year between Philly and Brooklyn. By the way, he was there the first meeting between the Nets and the 76ers after the trade, and watched KD and Kyrie put on a show against the 76ers and had Embiid looking stupid. But yeah, that's another story for another day. But nevertheless, Ben Simmons did not step on the court whatsoever. Now, this is where we're at. You have Steph Curry, you have Ben Simmons, who is not playing, Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant. You get to the 7th seed and you make the playoffs. And you play the Boston Celtics. This picture, for those of you who don't know, this is the game one finish. This is the finish to game one of the Eastern first round, where Jason Tatum blew past Kevin Durant for the game winning layup. Because Kevin Durant was looking at the clock to see how much time was left. By the time he looked back, Jason Tatum was already at the bucket. And Kyrie right here is looking very distraught because, they just lost game one at the Horn. And Kyrie had a spectacular game in game one. Man, let me see if I can find out how many points he had in game one, because he had a spectacular game one. It was tremendous. It was a tremendous game one. Now again, let's see, because let me see if I can find that for you, because he had a tremendous game. 39 points in game one. He put up 39 points, but you still took an L to the Boston Celtics. And then you went on and got swept by the Boston Celtics. Swept. That means 4-0 Boston over Brooklyn to send your butt home. Now, like I said, you made a choice. That's your right to make a choice not to get vaccinated. But you see what the consequences led to. Hindsight is 2020. Because in my opinion, and everybody else's opinion, if your butt would have made that sacrifice to get vaccinated, you're not a 7th seed in the Eastern Conference. And you're not facing Boston in the first friggin' round. By the way, you ain't even playing Cleveland for a playing spot, by the way. Let's get that. You're not playing Cleveland for a playing spot. You're not facing Boston in the first round, and you might not be getting swept in the first round either. Just to throw that out there, okay? Just to throw that out there. All right? You're following me. Are you with me here? Nevertheless, you get swept. And that's why Kyrie looked like the way that he looks on this picture. Now, we go to the offseason. Get ready for some games. And this guy, Kyrie Irving, does this. This is what he tweets out. From, it says, Hebrews to Negroes, wake up, Black America, the movie. And a lot of people did not take that well. It says here, quote, I am an optimist, and I meant no disrespect to anyone's religious beliefs. The anti-Semitic label that is being pushed on me is not justified and does not reflect the reality or truth I live every day. I embrace and want to learn from all walks of life and religion. This is what Kyrie said, close quotes. Because he posted about this movie. I have never seen this movie. I don't know nothing about this movie. And to be quite frankly, as a black man, I really don't care to see the movie. Now, maybe somebody might come and tell me that you probably should watch it. You probably learn something about it. But nevertheless, I don't come on here and make jokes or post anything religious. If you look at my Twitter, you look at my Instagram, look at my Facebook, I don't post anything religious like that. If anything religious I post is a scripture, and it's a scripture that I'm living by, that other people could live by as well to help them get to what they want in life. Because I believe in God, and most people believe in God. Okay? But if you believe in Jesus Christ or Muhammad, that's your business, your thing. But if you believe in God, we can talk. If you believe there's a higher power, we can talk. Nevertheless, he does this. He has to take time off again because Joe Tsai, the owner of the Brooklyn Nets, we need to set some ground rules here because Kyrie, you're clearly not paying attention. Clearly, you're finding ways to take time off. Clearly, you're not invested like you should be. Clearly, something else is going on here. Okay? He stands by what he said. Kyrie says, quote, I'm not going to stand down on anything that I believe in. I'm only going to get stronger because I am not alone. I have a whole army around me. If you do have an army around you, good for you, Kyrie. Very, 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 very good for you, sir. Very good. Nevertheless, you're insensitive. Okay? You have posted something that's insensitive. You posted something that is not very good to a certain amount of people in the world, not just the country, the world. Okay. Nevertheless, you take time off. He does this, he does that, all that good stuff. This is this season, by the way. This is this season. This season. As we're talking, because we got past last season. This season. Now we get here because guess what? The Brooklyn Nets was riding high. They were renting. They was fourth in the East. They were rolling without Kevin Durant. This happened January 20th. No, not January 20th. I'm thinking Lakers and Memphis, but I want to say February 1st. The beginning of Black History Month, you went into TD Garden, a place where nobody there likes your butt because what you did to them before in your way to the Brooklyn Nets. But you was riding high, Kyrie Irving. You and the Nets were riding very high at this point in time. And they come out of nowhere and smack the living daylights out of you. Smack the living daylights out of you. Just smacked you. That is a 43-point win. That is a 40. You can do your calculations yourself, ladies and gentlemen. That is a 43-point win from the Boston Celtics. They dropped 46 in the first quarter to Brooklyn 16. So you was already down 30. You was already down 30 out the one. 30. And by the way, and now one quarter that you outscored Boston. You're down 30. You got outscored by 4 in the second quarter, so you're down 34 at halftime. You got outscored by 6, that's 40, and you got outscored by. It's just amazing how they beat y'all down. And since they beat you down, you show you Taysom Tatum going to the rack over Kyrie Irving and the Nets and Walker Rose just looking there like, yes, that's that dude. Nevertheless, after that beating, you did this. Kyrie asked Nets for trade of the deadline. This is the first. The trade deadline was the 9th. You got smacked by the Boston Celtics. Yes. Now, remember, ladies and gentlemen, remember this. Remember, the last season ended to the Boston Celtics in a sweep. This came out of it. Nets was rolling. They ran to Boston this year, got beat by 43, and this happens. Now, money plays a factor in it. He get his extension and whatnot, all this financial stuff. He plays a factor. But did you notice that Kyrie be on some BS after he gets stumped by the Boston Celtics? Yeah, remember, this is a first round sweep here. First round sweep. 4-0 Boston over Brooklyn. Brooklyn ain't winning one game. And we ain't hear from Kyrie, and then when we did hear from Kyrie Irving to get ready for the season, he does this. He does this right here. This is what he does the first time we get to hear from Kyrie Irving after you getting swept by the Boston Celtics. The last time we saw you was you getting swept by the Boston Celtics. Then the next time we get to hear from you, I see you. You did this. And went back down. Now you're rolling. Kevin Durant's out. You got the team in fourth in the East. You're doing your thing. And you're going to TD Garden, and this happens. This happens. And then all of a sudden, this is what you want. You want to be traded. Quite interesting. And nevertheless, the Brooklyn Nets, they say, yes, get your ass out of Brooklyn. We can't stand you no more. We can't take no more, so they trade you to the Dallas Mavericks with Luka Doncic. That happened on a Sunday, a week before Super Bowl. The trade deadline was on the 9th. Was that Thursday or Super Bowl week? LeBron James has already broken the record. But before we know it, this happened as well. Kevin Durant gets traded to the Phoenix Suns for Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, some draft picks. So before you know it, these guys plus Cam Thomas, John Vaughn coaching is now the new Brooklyn Nets with Spencer Dinwiddie, Dorian Finney-Smith. It's the new Brooklyn Nets. 3.5 seasons, ladies and gentlemen, of Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. And this, how it went down. 2019, 2020, 35-37. Swept in the first round by the Toronto Raptors. And I do believe the Toronto Raptors went on to win that championship because I think they had Kawhi Leonard that year. Kevin Durant was still coming off an Achilles. No, I take that back. No, I take that back. Kevin Durant was still coming off an Achilles injury. So he didn't play his first season there. First season, Kevin Durant plays with them after recovering from an Achilles injury. 2020, 2021. 48-24. They get past the Boston Celtics in the first round. They run into Milwaukee Bucks in the second round when you see the famous Kevin Durant toe on the line that sends the game in overtime, and Milwaukee goes on from there to win the championship over the Phoenix Suns. Last season, 44-38. Kyrie only plays 29 games, and you get your ass swept in the first round by the Boston Celtics. And then this year, before both Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant traded, you had a record of 31-20. Total record with Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving combined for the 3 seasons is 158-119. That's a 57 win percentage. That's terrible when you have two superstars like those. But playoff record is 7-13. That includes 2 first-round sweeps. 2 first-round sweeps. And 3.5 seasons of the Brooklyn Nets with Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. We can call this an epic fail. A bust of a team. One of the biggest epic failures that they are. It was supposed to be title contenders in the East to compete with the Boston Celtics. the Milwaukee Bucks and the Philadelphia 76ers. Nevertheless, the first year you get swept by Toronto. The next year you lose in Game 7 to the Milwaukee Bucks because of a toe. And you get swept by the Boston Celtics your final playoff season. In 3.5 seasons, you only won one playoff series. So the Brooklyn Nets, you have to endure this flagrant foul as a whole, unfortunately. Because in 3.5 years, when you have Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, James Harden, you ain't get it done. From that team to bringing in Ben Simmons, Steph Curry, you still didn't get it done. No matter who you brought in with Kevin Durant and Kyrie, it didn't freaking matter. You either lost to the Celtics, you lost to the Bucks, and you lost to the Raptors. Without even making an Eastern Conference Finals appearance, let alone the NBA Finals appearance. Good luck to you, Brooklyn. I hope y'all can find better pastures after this horrific dynamic duo for 3.5 seasons. Shout out to, hopefully, Kyrie Irving and Luka Doncic can find a way to figure out who can take the last shot in games. And Kevin Durant, when you get back, we're looking forward to seeing you teaming up with Devin Booker, Chris Paul, and DeAndre Ayton down in Phoenix, Arizona.
Fans across the nation, Ram fans across the world, the Playmaker down there selling here, and you have turned into Ramley Talk. Matthew Stafford, Cooper Kupp said, the GOAT is not getting his ball back. We are ending this right here, right now. And Matthew Stafford did it. Somebody explain to me, why does this keep happening with the San Francisco 49ers? You can't stop Deebo Samuel for whatever reason. You make Jimmy G look like a damn good quarterback. And then the offensive line and defensive line getting their ass whooped by the other ones. Somebody explain this to me. Please.
Baker Mayfield was just a walk-through practice into his tenure with the Rams, and he's out there throwing game-winning touchdowns.
Just like in the San Francisco game, Aaron Donald gets to Joe Burrow. Burrow tries to get rid of it. It falls wide and short of some IJP run. Turnover on down. Subscribe to the podcast on your favorite platform, whether it be Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, and whatever else that you listen to Ramley Talk on.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of Cowboys Talk.
The Dallas Cowboys got exactly what they deserved. Let me say that one more time, because you know it's true. The Dallas Cowboys got exactly what they deserved.
Dak Prescott is overrated and he shouldn't be paid, okay? And the same thing with Pollard. I mean, Pollard breaking the tackles at that 57-yard touchdown run. I mean, we needed that big time.
33 points in the fourth quarter. Let me say that again. 33 points in the fourth quarter. And that's off of 4 turnovers committed by the Colts. See, at one point, and the fact that at the end of the third quarter, it was 21-19, and the final score was 54-19. Now that, ladies and gentlemen, that is completely unexpected.
Cowboys Talk is available on all streaming platforms, including Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, and YouTube.
All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Shooting Lights Out. Before we get up out of here, games to watch tonight for the college basketball session, ladies and gentlemen. Men's college basketball. 7 o'clock is your time. FS1, number 18, Creighton Blue Jays. They are taking on the 24-ranked Providence Flyers. That should be a good one in the Big East. I think I like Creighton in that one. In the ACC, on the ACC network, 23rd ranked, the Wolfpack of NC State. They are in the Q Dome to take on the Syracuse Orangemen. Be careful, NC State. That is not an easy place to win it, despite the fact the Qs are 15-10. And then nightcap tonight on ESPN on this Valentine's Day, the 5th ranked and reigning defending champion, the Jayhawks of Kansas. They are in Stillwater, Oklahoma, to take on the Oklahoma State Cowboys. Be careful, Kansas. Be careful. And then on the NBA tonight, TNT has your doubleheader beginning with a good old Valentine's Day matchup between the Boston Celtics and the Milwaukee Bucks. The top two teams in the East do battle in Milwaukee. Can the Milwaukee Bucks inch closer to that number one seed of the Boston Celtics, or with Boston widen the gap just a bit more? Also at 9 p.m. out on the west side of the country in Phoenix, Arizona, the Sacramento Kings, the upstart and the surprising Sacramento Kings, they are in Phoenix to take on the Phoenix Suns. Can the Kings continue to surprise people, or will Phoenix bring the Kings down a notch to bring them right back down to the pack? And your doubleheader on TNT tonight brings us to the City of Angels as the Los Angeles Clippers will host the Golden State Warriors. Clippers can get a big win on the Golden State Warriors without Steph Curry playing. We'll see how to go. Tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, you begin your day at 7 o'clock, 7:30. 7 p.m., you have the Chicago Bulls at the Indiana Pacers. 7:30, you have the Miami Heat at the Brooklyn Nets. Also, tomorrow at 7:30 on ESPN, you have the Cleveland Cavaliers in the city of brotherly love to take on the Philadelphia 76ers. Donovan Mitchell versus James Harden. Jared Allen versus Joel Embiid. That should be a good one tomorrow. Also at 7:30 for tomorrow, you have Jalen Brunson and the New York Knicks taking on Trae Young and the Atlanta Hawks down in the ATL. At 8 p.m. on tomorrow, the Utah Jazz, the surprising Utah Jazz, they are at FedEx Forum to take on John Moran and the Memphis Grizzlies. Kyrie Irving and Luka Doncic look to bounce back from failing to take a shot in the final seconds against the Minnesota Timberwolves. Down, they take that talent and that distraught loss to the Mile High City to take on two-time league MVP Nikola Jokic and the number one team in the West, the Denver Nuggets. And then your nightcap of your doubleheader on ESPN is the New Orleans Pelicans with the return of Brandon Ingram coming off that 34-point game he had against the Oklahoma City Thunder. He's taking that to the Crypto.com arena to face off against Anthony Davis and the Los Angeles Lakers. That will do it for Shooting Lights Out. You can catch Shooting Lights Out on all streaming platforms: Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, and a whole lot more. I am the Playmaker down the side signing off. I will catch y'all later.
Good. You've done great. But you can't stop here. You can't stop now. You gotta keep going. Through all your trials and your tribulations, you gotta keep pushing. Now, finish your canvas.
Yeah, gotta get it out the mud, that's the only way to win. Who am I to point the finger like I never ever seen? Been through the ups and downs like the letter N. They don't let you through the door, better kick that again. Cause that's the only way to win. That's the only way to go. Gotta get it out the mud, gotta get it out the flow. Cause that's the only way to go. Let's go.
Thank you for tuning in to today's episode. If you want to follow the podcast, you can follow it on all streaming platforms, including Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, and a whole lot more. This has been Shooting Lights Out.
Masterpiece.